now what you're thinking, to perform my civic duty, jury duty. And let me tell you, when you are down there, that is the most scathing commentary on the socio-economic, political, eating habits, and education of this great city. And they tell you you're going to go in front of a jury of your peers. And I'm looking all around the room. I don't see any black people. I'm sorry, I don't know where you live, but in my neighborhood, we are well integrated. And we've seen this OJ trial, and I'm not going to do any of that white ninja shit on you, brother. But, so first thing, they show you this video, and how much it's an honor and a privilege to be representing America and justice and truth in the American way. And these people, they're just like, it's a 30-year-old video, first off. And second off, there are no black people on this video. So we eventually get our questions asked, and the lady comes out and she says, does anybody want to be dismissed because they don't speak conversational English? So of course everybody raises their hand. She goes, and a lot of interesting looking minorities. And so all of a sudden she goes, so how many of you passed your American citizenship test? And everybody keeps their hands up and goes, well, if you were able to pass your citizenship test, then you were able to speak conversational English. So put your hands down, you're still on the jury. So we're sitting there waiting for our turn, and finally, if you've never been there, you sit around for about 8 hours, and they finally call you in. And then you go in there. And they only need to see 12 jurors. So we're all looking at each other. He's going to go. He's going to go. I'm going to get kicked out. And they keep bringing people up. Come on. Keep them on. Shit, they kicked them off. So one after another keeps going up. And they finally start placing some people on the jury. And then the lawyers start asking them these questions. And this one woman, she's got physical disabilities. So she raises her hand, she goes over and has a little confab with the judge. He looks at her, thinks about it for a second, and goes, no, I'm sorry. You're going to be on the juror. So she goes hobbling over to the juror box. And she sits on the step. Because it turns out you sit on the step if you can't quite make it in the jury box. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm a lawyer, I don't want a little old woman who's sitting on a step the whole time. Juror number 9, preemptively dismissed. Then they call this sweet little girl. She must have been not more than about 19. Wait, based on her age, maybe about 21. And they start asking her a few questions. And, do you have a job? She goes, yeah, I work at Starbucks. I go, all right, she's going to be on the jury. And they ask her a little further, and it's a cashier, not even a barrister. But, I'm not one to judge. And she says she was going to school to get an education. She wanted to become a nurse, but she had to drop out early for childcare because she's got a little baby, 3-4 years old, right? So then they ask her, okay, but you did complete high school. She goes, yeah. She goes, what year did you graduate? And she pauses. And she's just sitting there for a second. She goes, well, I'm not quite sure. It might have been 2010, might have been 2012. And we're all just kind of looking at each other going, she doesn't know when she graduated? Now that's okay. But then she goes on, and God bless her, they have to kick her off because, we don't have somebody at home. Now we got another person who comes up. And, the questions, it was some trial about, one real estate investment company against another one. And, we're going to ask you some questions to see if you have any bias. So the first guy comes up, and he's talking, and he says, well, have you ever had any, interactions with a realty company or somebody who handles financial information? He goes, yeah, well, I was trying to put out a loan for a house. And all the paperwork was done, and we were approved and everything. And then all of a sudden they changed the rules. So, I don't got nothing against those people. Juror number 11, preemptively dismissed. Then another guy comes up. No, it was a girl, actually. And she says, well, I don't have much financial dealings, but my dad taught me how to, get a credit card. But then he was always making fun of me for that. And it made me feel really bad, and I withdrew into a shell. Juror number 13, preemptively dismissed. And this just goes on and on and on. And I'm like, fuck, it's almost time. We'll be out of here in 5 minutes. So they asked one more person to come up, and it's this huge, huge woman. And when she was sitting down there, back in the jury box, I couldn't help but notice, every time she leaned forward, you'd see this nice big crack in her ass. And I don't know why, but I'm just strangely kept being attracted to looking back over there. Well, this woman gets up, and she is the most eloquently spoken woman. She's got a double major law degree. She gets on the jury, and we are all set to go home because juror number 12 is seated. Thank you.
Yeah.